free.
I was reading an
ice
article
cream.
earlier.
Yes.
Turns out a barber down the street from me got arrested for drug dealing. I was surprised. I've been going to that guy for years and never knew he was a barber.
Oh no.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Outer Belt. I'm Patrick, and you on my friends.
Chili?
Buttermilk.
Eric.
Zucchini bread.
And Jerry.
And we're back, episode 2 of season 4. In unison, I like
Yeah.
it. It was like harmonious.
Very nice.
It's so great to be back on the show. We had a lot of fun last week. Didn't get to cover a lot of business, but we got to catch up. That was always fun. Although Melissa Buttermilk, or rather, you tend to be more of a mustard fan, not so much the ketchup.
Right.
Yeah,
What kind of mustard do you like?
Haagen-Dazs.
Are you a
French's.
Dijon
That's not the
girl?
right one.
French's.
I think that's ice cream.
I think it's ice cream
Haagen-Dazs.
too.
Oh.
Well, you heard it from my ventriloquist voice across the room. It's French's for sure.
I'm a fan of that stuff from Wisconsin, the beaver mustard. They got
Oh,
all
yeah.
the different
They
flavors.
got a
and
nice
stuff.
spicy one.
Is that the one
Yeah,
you
they
put
do.
on your
They're like-
beaver tot? What are they called? Beaver nuggets from
from
Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's?
Yeah,
I've never done that. I don't go to Buc-ee's.
I don't either.
Yeah,
No,
but
I've heard
I
about
hear-
it.
Beaver Creek is like short, squatty little gourmet bottles.
Be-
We don't buy those.
Beaver Creek.
Beaver, what'd you call it?
Beaver.
Oh,
Beaver Creek is there
That's
was
a town in
that's
Oregon, isn't it?
No, in Colorado. It's
oh well, now we're way
next
off
to Vail.
tangent.
Way out
French's is the right answer. Just good old yellow mustard.
Have you ever had Grey Poupon?
I have.
And
It's good.
You should wipe
but
it
you'd
off.
rather
But-
French's?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're having mustard on.
I'm a big fan of spicy beaver.
I believe it. I believe it. But you got to do the sesame free
Yeah,
type.
yeah, you do.
I think if you're gonna do that, do you put like blue cheese on the spicy beaver?
You can. I mean, it depends on the mood.
Okay, I
you
get
know?
that. I
Depends
get
on
that.
the mood.
I get that. But like a saltine cracker, right?
Yeah, saltine cracker, little spicy beaver.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of blue cheese.
I think some Ritz would actually.
So
be
we
really
actually had
good.
mustard tonight.
or even some pepperoni.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, pepperoni.
Yeah.
We had mustard
Yeah.
tonight. So we had hamburger salad. So basically, it's a hamburger minus the bun in the form of a salad. And you still put all the condiments on it. That's kind of your dressing. And I did French's mustard. However, if we're doing like a charcuterie, I'll crack out the Grey Poupon or a Dijon of some sort. So again, it really depends on what you're eating in our house, what goes where for mustards. But we probably have like 3 different kinds of mustard.
I didn't have any mustard.
Well, I get
I had
that.
mustard.
We have French's because I do believe in French's yellow. However, we also have fake Grey Poupon.
Yeah, we do too.
Ours is a really boutique brand. I don't know if you've heard it. It's Kroger.
I think we have the same one.
No, it's good stuff. I do like it. But I tell you what, that we had dinner the other night with Kayla and Eric. So Eric works in our maintenance department. Kayla is our Panther Fleet coordinator, and she came to town, and we met up with them, and they had a mustard, but it wasn't like a sauce.
No, that was,
It was-
whole grain.
Whole grain, just solid mustard. It was fantastic.
And that was on a charcuterie board. So again, whole grain is one of those kind of like Dijon that you can go either way with a charcuterie.
I bet it would be good on a hamburger.
Could
It would.
be.
You
So
know?
With
yeah,
the right kind of cheese.
it's very pungent and
Gorgonzola?
strong. Yes.
No.
I thought gorgonzola and pear, isn't that a thing?
Gruyere, maybe?
Gruyere would be nice. That's like cheddar,
Or-
right?
Very similar, but different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can eat the rind.
I do like the rind.
Yes.
Actually, last night, was it last night? I don't know, a couple days. I don't know. Eric got some cheese. We were watching a movie, and he went and he came back with the plate, and he had his cheese, whatever. And he's like, "Would you like this?" And I'm like, "Oh, the cheese." He's like, "No, that right there." And I was like, "What is that?" I took it, I ate it. And I was like, "Oh, this is good. What is it?" And he's like, "It's the rind." He
Knew
just
you would like it.
he cut the rind off, and then he cut it into little strips. So they actually look like what are those tortilla strips that you have in a salad sometimes?
Oh.
They kind of look like that. But no, I ate all of them. They were super delicious.
Rind is where the flavor's at.
Yeah, but sometimes it looks like pure mold.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you don't always want to eat it.
Mm-mm. No, I can't imagine anybody still listening to us. So let's talk about something a little more serious. The weather outside.
It's frightful.
Is it not wonderful?
I've had the doors and windows open the last 3
Mhm.
days.
I've cut my AC off. It's
Yep,
been
me
off for
too.
a few days.
You're like, take that, AEP record profits.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
yes,
welcome.
you said it.
You're welcome.
Get to the truth.
That's right. I'm going to hit that minimum payment, whatever that is. No, we still have that. So, like, our house is great, but the back of the house is all windows, and it faces west. So and there's no trees or anything covering it. So we get that afternoon sun, and it is brutal. Our house, when I got in from the yard today, I walked inside the house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an oven in here. An oven. And the weather outside was, 71?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like 76 degrees inside the house, so I had to kick the AC on and pull it down. But, yeah, no, the weather outside is awesome. I actually, inside of our trucks, not all of them, but a lot of them have the induction cooktop. And every now and then we'll get a truck back or someone will just come to the yard and need a replacement because the cabinets above the countertop, some of them are set back just a little bit. And when you're driving down the road, things can shift in your cabinets and you open the door and a can of what I can only assume are black olives will come out of the cabinet and just bam right on that glass surface and it shatters. So I did another order. We buy them by like the 8 to 10 at a time. And so got to order those, brought them down to the yard, and I stepped outside to start bringing them inside, and I was like, oh, I should have worn jeans today. Like, and I'm glad I didn't. Like, but just the initial shock of like, it's not hot at all. Like, I was expecting it to be hot,
Right.
and it wasn't in the least bit.
I think it was like, 49 degrees this morning when
Mhm.
Vince and
It was
Heather went to the
49
yard.
degrees.
North, like Bucyrus and stuff, they actually were like 41, 40.
I saw
I
the
talked to some
lowest
folks
today.
up at Panther Medina today. They had snow.
I did read on the Ohio News and Weather Facebook channel that the lowest temperature I think was in Xena, and it was 39 degrees this morning.
Wow. Y'all ready? It's that time of year.
I'm ready.
It'll be 83 degrees in like 2 days, right?
I'm already ready to
I
put
was
the
gonna
air back
say,
on.
yeah,
when
they've
that
been
time
calling it the
comes.
false fall.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I love fall.
I do too. This time of the year, it's my favorite time to sit in the backyard because at night it cools down. The only problem is we are at that time of the year where like you kind of got to do a wardrobe change.
You do.
So you're sitting
You do.
outside, the sun's out again. It faces west, so you're not sweating, but like it's warm. And then as soon as that sun is below the horizon, you walk inside, throw a pair of jeans on, go right back outside again because it's just it changes that fast.
What kind of shoes do you wear when you're outside?
Tennis.
No flip flops?
You know, no, flip flops to me are something I wear to the pool to go
Okay.
swimming. That's about the only time I wear anything like that. But it's funny you mention that. Zucchini Bread, you were saying that you wear thongs, right?
Yes. Or slides or flip flops, whichever term you want to use.
Those are different.
They are different. Completely different.
Completely different. So,
So as a kid, we would call the shoes with the little plastic things that go over your feet, that go between your toes.
yes,
We would,
thongs.
we would call them thongs
Yes,
or flip flops.
yes,
Yes.
Either one.
yes.
And then the others that just had the big band going across your foot
And the Nike symbol.
and the Nike swoosh
Yeah.
or the Adidas stripes
Adidas.
Or
those-
Under
we called those slides.
Under Armour didn't exist when he was a kid.
No, it didn't.
Sorry.
Nike barely existed when I was a kid.
It was big where I grew up.
Yeah.
Well, I can
obviously.
imagine.
Obviously.
Oregon.
Oh, you in their backyard.
I know, right?
Exactly.
You knew Mr. Nike.
Yeah.
He used to hang out with Harry and David.
Yeah. That's funny. I wore flip flops last Saturday with my summer dress when we went out.
Well, that's appropriate.
Mine are glittery from Loves. I'm still rocking my Loves flip flops.
What are your thoughts on wearing flip flops when you're driving a truck?
So okay, I gotta say I don't like flip flops in general. I do find them very uncomfortable. If I walk a long distance in them, they will typically rub my toe raw,
Okay.
and so it causes me quite a lot of pain. And I've had the fancy leather ones that are not
Yeah.
supposed to do that, and they still do it, and yada yada. I've only found one pair ever. I think it was a company called Brazos, Brazos.
Brazos, that was a TV show that featured Steve
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Someone's been watching Only Murders Left in the Building. No, but they were an Australian company or something like that. And Academy Sports in Baton Rouge, Louisiana sold them.
Interesting.
And then they stopped selling them. And I was never able to get them again. And I've never found a comfortable pair. So I will wear them to like a swimming pool. But it's literally just hotel room to the
Yeah.
pool.
That's it.
And then I take them off, get in the water, and then
Right.
put them back on, go to the hotel room, and then immediately change it.
Well, here's the reason I asked that question.
It is an odd question,
It's a very odd question.
especially coming into fall.
There have been stories going around on social media that the DOT officers
Okay.
are putting drivers out of service for driving while wearing flip flops.
Huh.
Can you believe that?
No.
You
I-
shouldn't,
I would have.
because those
might have gotten-
stories are indeed false.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
So I saw those stories, and I was playing along because I thought you had a joke to go with it, but those aren't real?
Those stories are indeed false.
Oh, I legit thought they were real.
Wow.
So-
Oh,
No.
my.
So years ago, when I was actually went swimming at a friend's house, left there. This was before I said no more. I can't wear flip flops for an extended period of time. I was in my Toyota Tundra driving back to my house,
Okay.
and I was getting ready to get off at my exit. So I took my foot off the accelerator and went to move it over to the brake, but the left side of the sandal of the flip flop
Yeah.
got caught under my brake. And so I had like a instant moment of like terror go through my heart.
Sure.
Like, why is my foot not going to the brake? So, I mean, it only lasted for like a half a second, but a half second was enough.
Yeah.
And I was able to like shake my foot and then get on the brake. And then once I got off, I actually took my flip flop off and I just drove the rest of the way home barefoot. And I have not worn them since because I'm afraid that's going to happen again. So I only, like, even if I went to the beach or something and I was going to wear flip flops out there, I would wear tennis shoes to get to the beach, change shoes. I not while driving. So I legit thought that was serious. I did not know that was.
It's actually not illegal. There are experts on these stories in comments that are saying that they're quoting an FMCSA code,
Yes.
and that code doesn't have anything to do with footwear. So if you want to wear flip flops, if you want to drive barefoot, if you want to wear stilettos, it's perfectly legal to do.
Stilettos?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just don't.
I could see that because if it's coming to a point, rocking between your gas and your brake would be kind of easy. You
Yeah,
never have to take your
just,
heel.
Just
No.
swivel. Just swivel your foot, right?
No.
Just swivel your foot.
Works.
I could see that. Do they make stilettos in wide?
They do.
I'm
They
sure.
have
Wide
I'm sure they
sizes.
do.
chunky
Yeah.
heels too.
But
I
even
like chunky
Crocs-
No,
heels
no.
more
I
than
want
stilettos.
if Alexa, I don't ever plan on wearing stilettos, but if I do, they will not be the chunky heel. They will be the
Pencil
tiny
thin.
pencil thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
6-inch
you're
heel.
gonna get me to do it, and I'm probably only gonna do it for charity, like someone's giving someone a lot of money would be
Ooh.
the only chance I would do
I
that.
think we
But
just came up with a fundraiser.
you've been a lovely audience. We'll catch you next week. Jerry, you can delete that out of the podcast. Right? We can go ahead and just
But
edit
even
that.
the flip flops and stilettos went as far as Crocs.
Yeah.
Because ultimately
Oh.
they're wanting you. Ultimately, the story was saying, from what I read, is that they want you to wear a sturdy shoe.
That's what people are saying that the FMCSA rule requires.
Correct.
Is that your shoe have a sturdy hard bottom.
Huh.
But that's not true.
No.
Yeah.
It's not true at all. But the code people are citing is FMCSR 392.2, which actually states every commercial motor vehicle must be operated in accordance with the laws, ordinances, and regulations of the jurisdiction in which it's being operated. It has nothing to do with your footwear.
So, if I was mayor of small town USA, and in my small town USA we said you couldn't wear flip flops while driving a commercial vehicle, then in my small town USA you would have to obey that rule. Is what they're saying.
How-
But if it's So like you come into my town, you kick your flip flops off because we do allow barefoot driving because we're gentlemen. And then as soon as you cross out of my city limits, then you can put your flip flop back on.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Fascinating. Is there a small town anywhere in America that has such an absurd rule?
No.
According to this article, no,
No.
there isn't. There isn't, but
Okay.
yeah, they can do that.
Okay, so like in some places in Louisiana, I know there are still towns because I watch read these like ridiculous rules, that still exist in towns. So I know like if a woman is driving a car in some towns in Louisiana, we've talked about this before on the podcast actually. There must be a man with a orange flag in front, warning people, and this comes from, of course, South Louisiana, very back in the turn of the century, the other turn of the century, because it's
The turn of the other century.
the two turns of the century
Right,
ago.
2 turns.
They were obviously very racist and very misogynist,
Right.
right? And so that's where kind of that rule comes from. It's still in the books in a lot of places. It's not enforced anywhere.
Sure.
They just have realized there's no real reason to waste money or time or anything to even take it off the books, but it's still there. So that means when Buttermilk or Heather are driving through that town, they're not obeying this rule, this law. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but the law's the law. So I know I did, but that's fascinating. I did not know. So they're just completely making this up.
They're just completely
Yep.
making it up.
I've heard this rumor growing up as a kid all my life. Like, it was always told, like, even when you drive a car, you're not supposed to do it because it could get caught,
Yes.
or you get into an accident and your foot could be cut off, or something like that. It's so absurd.
But I think that's the common sense side of it. And maybe as a child, parents are trying to scare us straight. Their
Yeah.
tactics.
And there-
Gaslighting us is really what they're doing, but it worked,
Yeah.
for a while until you maybe adult enough and go, I'm wearing flip flops.
No,
There's lots of-
mom wore flip flops all the time. She would never say that. She would never tell us like don't drive with flip flops because she's doing it.
There's lots of strong opinions around footwear in the trucking industry.
Sure.
now,
Yeah.
Drivers walking into shippers or receivers in flip flops, and
Slides.
and sometimes those facilities can be dangerous. They're not
Yeah.
designed for people walking around in flip flops. Their staff is mandated to wear a steel-toe shoe,
Yep.
and you're coming in with your toes exposed.
Well, I've been to places, and maybe you have, where they require steel toes, and if you don't have steel toes, they'll give you a
cap.
a cap
Yeah.
to go over your footwear too to be able to get on site. So I've seen that in the notes before. We go to pick up a load up, and they
Mhm.
would say like steel toes required or only closed-toed shoes or something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
Like they
we
would
had
put that
that.
on there.
Yeah.
So I think again, common sense. They were talking about should a law be made. That was like kind of more of the article was, is this something that should be addressed and FMCSA should come up with a law? Did you read the rest of that?
I
on that
did,
article?
but what purpose does that serve other than just more regulations on drivers?
Well,
I need to see I want to see the data.
well, they were saying it would be so hard to train law enforcement officers on basically becoming a footwear expert. What does that look like? Does everybody have to have a same make, model, and brand? I mean, what
Yeah.
are you looking
And
for?
how would you enforce it?
How would you
well,
enforce
and that's
I
the
don't know.
question: is
Yeah,
how do you
and that's
enforce
it.
it?
And then what do you
too.
consider safe and not safe? So like when I was working in kitchens, obviously almost every kitchen, especially the fancy ones, you have to wear closed toe and you have to have non-skid. And if you ever worked in a kitchen, non-slip is important.
Yeah.
Like non-slip, you need to be able to walk over an ice skating rink and not fall because those kitchen floors are dangerous. And Crocs, good old-fashioned black Crocs, they made them, as they still do make them, with the solid toe, not the one with the holes, but the solid.
Mhm.
That, for most restaurants, works.
Yeah.
They're fine with that.
They are non-slip.
They're
They do
non-
have non-slip
Yep, non-slip,
soles. yeah.
and your feet are protected. Because they're thinking, like, if a knife falls, it needs to be able to protect it. Now, if it falls point first down, it didn't really. If I have a tennis shoe on, or if I have a leather shoe, it's going
Right,
to go through.
yeah.
A steel toe, it might protect my toe, but if it goes any higher, it's going to cut through there, right? But they're thinking like if a knife just falls and lands flat, the Croc is going to protect you, right? But they're saying they don't even want Crocs.
No.
But meanwhile, that's a non-skid shoe, and to me, that makes sense. Like I think of where is skidding, like where is slipping a possibility and I think at the fuel bay.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Sure.
times the fuel bays are pretty slick.
Yeah.
That diesel gets on the ground, a little bit drips out when you move your handle sometimes from the pump to the gas to
Yeah.
the tank, sometimes from the tank back to the pump, and that area just gets real slick. And they pressure wash them every now
All
and
the
then,
time.
but it's still
I've gotten out in tennis shoes, closed-toed, regular tennis shoes, and moving a little fast and have a little slip and go
Yep.
surfing, on the field.
Mhm.
So they're not non-slip. They're not required for non-slip. Anyway, ultimately, this is not a law. It's not a rule in the
Yeah.
FMCSRs. They are not looking to come after your shoes. It's just people are making up fake news posts and putting them out on social media.
trying to get.
I read it, thought it was fun, thought I'd share it
was
with you
fun.
guys.
It is interesting. What
Yeah.
what did you drive in? So like
I drove
my-
barefoot if I could.
I get that. My preferred was steel toe boots I had bought. I did a construction job in New Orleans years ago. If you've been to the Superdome, right next to the Superdome is this huge park. I mean, it's all black asphalt. There's no trees. But it's a place where they do like concerts and parties and stuff. So if you go before or after a game, there's a band out there playing, and there's tons of people. There's a bunch of restaurants and places to get booze and stuff. So it's a fun place. But when we built, I built that or helped build that. So when we built it, that was a rule, like period, steel toes on the job
construction
site.
sites. Yeah,
And so I had those, and I bought Red Wings, and they were super
I
comfortable.
love my Red Wings.
So I brought those on the truck with me. I liked them even over a tennis shoe because they were heavy. So if you have never driven a commercial vehicle, the gas pedal, especially the brakes on our trucks, are heavy. They take more force than what your car does to use because they're actuating an air valve. They're not going to a brake booster. And so I liked it because it was way easier to use the brakes. It took
Yeah.
less effort on my part. And so that's why I always had them. The only thing I ever had an issue with those steel toes was in the dead of winter when it's so cold you're running your heater on full blast the whole time. So it's negative 15, negative 20 outside.
Right.
At negative 20, your glass has no insulative properties, so you're running your heater wide open. And you're comfortable, but you just have to keep it wide
Sure.
open. And that heater just blowing right on my foot with those steel toes. Ooh. I'd have
Toasty.
had to put the cruise control on and like tuck your feet back to keep your toes from catching on fire. And I did have a pair of composite toes too. Those were always handy.
Yeah.
But I always thought safety, like especially some of these places, I've seen
Yeah.
how some of these
Right.
people operate, and sometimes it's a culture of safety, and sometimes you're like happy to be out of there
Sure.
because you're
Oh,
like
yeah.
these people are going to kill someone.
Yeah, we carried. I had steel toes on the truck. I think they might have been composite. A pair of Keens, 3/4, like 6-inch
Mhm.
boots, waterproof. I wore those like twice.
Yeah.
And that was because it was ice and snow outside, so keep my shoes. I threw them on, and I needed to be outside for a period of time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I had tennis shoes on the truck. I had slides in my shower bag as shower shoes
Yes.
that I'd wear in the shower. And if I was driving, though, if I'm on the road for 8 hours, shoes would come off, socks would come off, and I drove barefoot. I hate wearing socks for one. My feet
Yeah.
don't like them. So, yeah, I was barefoot.
Well, it's probably a healthier way, honestly. Like, they say you're not supposed to keep your feet in socks or shoes all the time.
I think they just want you to be safe.
Yeah.
Ultimately, FMCSA.
But the FMCSA has nothing to do with this.
Sure.
This is
Completely made up.
completely made up.
Well,
So-
it was a big hoax. It went everywhere, and
Everywhere,
I
yeah,
thought it was
all over.
real.
All
I
over.
really thought it was real. That's fascinating.
What do you drive in? The viewers.
Go
Put it
ahead.
down below.
We're waiting.
Type your answer in now.
Jerry, you're probably the one that drove the longest of all of us. You remember back when you had to go outside and crank the engine manually. What what were y'all wearing back then?
I had my steel toes for whenever I needed, but again, like Ben said, I wore them maybe 3 times in my whole entire career. But yeah, 15 and a half years of driving, it was always tennis shoes or flip-flops. I only wore the flip-flops whenever I had like cross-country runs. If I knew I was going to be doing an 11-hour shift and I wasn't going to be getting out of the truck other
Right.
than fueling or something,
Yeah.
You know-
And even not even the fuel. A lot of times Don would fuel before we switch or something. Like I could run an 11-hour shift without stopping.
True.
Besides break, so
Even back in the day when I first started, there was no 30-minute break.
exactly. I was about to say
I
that.
absolutely remember running
Right.
10 hours and 50 minutes.
And then I love my flip flops to, you wake up in the middle of the night, just slip on your flip flops and go inside to use the
Sure.
restroom and don't have to put on tennis
Sure.
shoes. And
I always put on tennis shoes. I
Always.
did not trust
Yep.
what was on the ground.
Mhm.
And so,
I didn't trust
didn't
the
like it.
flip flop. I was always afraid.
Right.
You ever had a
It might
blowout in the
break.
a
Yeah.
blowout in the flip flop?
Yeah.
or you
I
kick
have.
it off as you're walking
Yes.
because you don't have it on right.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
you step on yellow asphalt. It's like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm,
No, I couldn't.
I'm with you. I was
Okay.
always tennis shoes if I was getting out of that truck. Tennis shoes or my steel toes. That was the only options.
it was just too much of a hassle to have to sit down and put on shoes
Oh.
and get ready. And I can just get flip flops and go. And
I kept them right
Which-
next.
Or you have people who keep their shoes tied and just slip them on, slip them
Or
on.
non-tied
that's what-
shoes, slip shoes.
I was about to say, now I have kicks, or they're called kicks, KICKS, and they literally just slip on. Like they don't have to be tied or anything. So I love those.
I never untie or tie my shoes unless until they get loose. Then I'll retie them. But I just always slip mine on. I'm lazy, and I always kept them by the bed. Now I didn't if I get up in the middle of the night and go use the restroom. And we were at a truck stop or whatever. I wouldn't put socks on. I would just bare minimum to get me there. But it was always the tennis shoes. My flip flops, which are my shower shoes, which are handy because there were times we got hotels and you would go to a pool or whatever. Those so I'd use my shower shoes, but I always just the $1 flip flop Walmart bin.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember that bin? It's
Oh, yeah.
it's like 4 foot by 4 foot by,
usually
3
like
foot
several
tall.
pair.
and there's about 900 pairs of.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you,
had to get a size half bigger
Yes, half-
because they don't
uh-huh.
have the halves. so-
yeah, oh yeah. I wear a size what do I wear, like a 10 tennis shoe or a 13 flip flop from Walmart. You know what I mean? Like
I wanted my shower shoes a little bit bigger anyway.
You gotta
'cause
have
I
a
didn't wanna
buffer.
Slide.
You gotta have a
you
yeah,
gotta have a
buffer, yeah.
buffer because
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand most showers.
Overhang. You don't want your foot overhanging.
No,
Exactly.
no. And we,
Ugh.
we talk about the bathrooms. We joke about them. Truck stop showers are actually pretty darn clean for the most part.
Mhm.
And there's such a big
For the most part.
competition for truck drivers' businesses now that's a place where truck stops really we really do try to keep our bathrooms clean, the showers clean. So I know if you're hearing this, you're like, oh my gosh, we're thinking about going on the road, but showers, no, they're super nice and clean. Do you have a video of a shower on
think
Loke
we do.
Shire?
I
I think
do.
you
We
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably need to go. We need to go take some showers and redo that video. But let y'all see what it's like because it is. They're very clean.
Yeah.
And they come through between each person and they
Yep.
do re-bleach. And boy, you can tell it's bleach in some places. You walk in, it's like, whoo,
Yeah.
yes sir.
Smells like a swimming pool.
Yeah. So if there was fungus, because that's what we're all worried about, right?
Sure.
On
Yep.
the shower pan, it's gone. But I just never could come to grips with taking that chance.
Nope.
I
It was
had,
always shower shoes.
I had to wear shower shoes no matter what.
And then shower
Oh.
shoes always had their own bag.
Oh, and I blew mine out
Mhm.
one time in getting into the shower. My shower shoes blew out and they ripped in two places, so I couldn't make it work. Because if only
Yeah.
if only the toe breaks out in a shower, you can struggle for one shower. But they really blew up bad. And so I remember taking they had two towels in there. I took one of the towels and threw it in the bottom of the shower to get through the
Oh.
shower.
Dang,
we
'cause I
didn't-
skipped a shower one time because I forgot my shoes.
Yeah, I mean,
When I think of that.
I had to figure something out. I'm like, in back then
You could have stood like a pelican.
I could have
I'm kidding.
a little flamingo in
Little
it,
flamingo
a little flamingo
action.
action. Yeah, I could have.
I'm kidding.
Actually, did you see? So a lot of y'all know that I love to travel and fly. And Tampa's airport. If you ever had a chance to go through Tampa, their airport, it's okay. Their Instagram and their Facebook page is hysterical. They have some really good social media people doing it, and the big thing inside of their airport is they have a gigantic flamingo. And when I say gigantic, Eric, if it stood up, how tall would it be? 100 foot?
I'd say 5 stories tall.
Yeah, it's massive, and they have it where the legs and very little bit of the body is into the ceiling, and it's like a 3-4 story atrium, and then its neck is coming down on the other side. Look at actually, you know what? There's a picture of it right there. That's cool, isn't it?
That is cool.
That's very cool.
And so they did one recently, and they said we're looking for the person who vandalized it, and they showed the picture of it, and the flamingo was wearing Crocs.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that's the flamingo with the Crocs.
Yes.
And doing that in the shower, I could see that. Freaking hysterical.
Well, I'm glad that the story is debunked and people can wear whatever they want to wear while
Yes,
driving.
yes, they
Or
can.
not wear.
One last thought.
Yeah.
When you are driving a commercial truck, the accelerator pedal and the brake are actually further apart than they are in your car, which does beg the question: how much of a safety risk is it really?
I think if you go to move from one to the other, and you just don't get your foot up high enough, you can certainly slip underneath the
Yeah.
brake pedal.
I'd love some data. I'd love to see.
I don't think anybody's recording this data though.
It'd be hard to
Like how many accidents have
yeah,
happened
you know.
because of
Because of flip
Because
flops.
of
Well,
flip-flops.
Not
footwear
necessarily-
in general.
Yeah.
footwear.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of footwear?
I
Or lack
remember-
of footwear in
I
general.
remember one wreck my mom got into, and she didn't get in a mini. It wasn't like one of her many. It
That's
was.
what it sounded like.
I think she had 2 wrecks her whole life, or at
Right.
least since I was alive. One of her wrecks was accidents. She was driving, had a Tupperware cup with a snap-on lid, and then it had a little straw that went through, and you could drink out of it. It's kind of like what Eric's drinking out of, or what y'all are drinking out of right now, just like the 1992 version of it.
Sure.
Sure.
And she was holding the lid and going around a corner, and the lid popped off. The bottom of the cup fell. Mountain Dew went everywhere, and she was like, "Oh no!" Tried to grab it, and then when she looked up, she just right into a light pole. Yeah,
Ouch.
one of her less moments. But like, did they document that as wreck caused by cup
Right.
opening? Like,
Yeah.
probably
Sure.
not. So
Yeah.
they probably didn't record it that way. They probably just said driver fault, and
Mhm.
driver error and left it at that. So the footwear thing might be the same deal. They might just put it down as
Yeah.
driver error and nothing else. That's fascinating.
Interesting.
Melissa, you had an interesting article that you sent over, and I have some thoughts as always, but I thought you would introduce it. The great state of Ohio, our state, is about to invest $150 million. And if you would please let us know what they're doing.
Well, it's for semi-truck parking project, and they announced that it's going to create at least 1,400. That's a lot. New parking spaces for semi-truck drivers, obviously in hopes of preventing crashes. So just trying to be more safety aware. Spaces will be constructed across 33 rest area sites throughout the state and provide additional support for truck drivers traveling long distance. And they did start the project right away. So that's about what I know.
I didn't know Ohio had that many rest areas.
Yeah, 33 rest areas. Since 2015, the department has identified at least 689 crashes in Ohio that have been attributed to drowsy semi-truck drivers.
That was 689 crashes.
crashes. Yeah. Leading to 345 injuries and sadly 2 deaths. So they're just looking for more spaces for the drivers to pull off and get that rest that's needed. Which, as we all know, parking is an issue at nighttime, and
Mhm.
rest is also an issue.
Yeah.
You got to get that.
No, Ohio has redone a lot of their rest areas,
Yes.
and not just like a remodel, torn down, ground up,
Dug up
rebuilds.
the concrete.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
gone, and they do them like they're right across the highway from each other or very near each other. They do them both, and you can watch. You can go by. My thinking is going up 33 when we go to Fort Wayne,
Yes.
and the westbound one is a little further ahead than the eastbound one. So it's like they're using the same crew to go in and do demolition, and they move across the highway while the next crew comes in and starts grading and paving, and then they move across the highway. So
Yes.
you can watch them go up in stages. I was going to Bolt the other day, and on 75, there's that one between where you get on at 33 and get off at 23, I think it is.
Oh, yes.
They're doing road construction through there, and then the rest area northbound is closed. And then coming southbound, there's a sign that lists the next 2 rest areas, and both of those were closed for construction.
Wow.
So it's a little frustrating when they have that many closed, and you're looking for, it's
Yeah.
there, and you get there and it's closed. Okay, the next one's 40 miles up. Oh, that one's closed too. But they are tearing them down to the ground and rebuilding brand new rest areas.
Yeah.
Well, I like they're giving you the heads up that far in advance.
Oh, sure,
Because
I
you
agree.
do pass a couple truck
You do.
stops that you could
You
to pull over and
alternate,
take
yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It is weird they're doing them so rapid fire. Which I'm again from South Louisiana. They did the opposite. They just closed a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and that was
That
that.
was it.
That was it.
there was no rebuild, no remodel.
yeah.
It just closed.
No, they sold the land and it became an on ramp for a shopping mall.
Yeah.
But I was surprised there were so many. So I just did a trip up to Grand Rapids and Detroit, and then on my way back, I went through Findlay and a couple other places, but it was mostly back roads. And there were a couple of rest areas out in the middle of nowhere on those highways, and I'm like, wow, not even an interstate. Like
No.
this is just a random highway. They had them, and I did actually pass. I don't remember what it was. I wish I could remember, but I did actually pass one that was the old style rest area that was still open, and
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
It's time will come.
kind of yeah. You're like you're about to be done. I
Yeah.
wonder it'd be if they go through there and like they don't do this, but if they went through there and they like scrapped everything, so like they removed all the toilets and all the sinks, and they're like, we'll use you again, and they redo everything,
Right.
demolish, rebuild, and
Then
put them
put it
all
back.
back in there. No, I don't think they're doing that. I think they are taking a Caterpillar front loader and
Mhm.
just
tearing
the
it
ground.
down. Just tearing it down.
Yep.
but
They're supposed to have the project. All the spaces are supposed to be completed across all the sites by 2026. Like you
Yep.
said, it's very fast moving.
I was going to be cynical and say, they're talking about 1,400 new parking spaces. Is that new after they tear down the old ones? They put 100 spaces in and call that 100 spaces.
is it
But
or is it 1,400 additional?
well, I
I think it's additional.
think it's 1,400 additional. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
cool.
the way they read the article, I think it's 1,400 additional. So
New 1,400 new
New,
parking
yes.
spaces.
yeah. So
Yeah. Well, they are. That makes sense because if you actually think about it, the old rest areas when you pulled in, they had one lane for trucks and it's parallel parking
Parallel
on both
parking, yeah.
sides. The new ones do have
those
legit
legitimate
parking
diagonals,
spots at
yeah.
diagonals. So that has changed, and some of them I've noticed too are like off to the side, like they don't quite fit. It's almost like it was an afterthought.
Sure.
Like they were gonna just go back in with those strips, and maybe because this is happening right now on some of the like brand new ones that they've done, they're kind of off to the side. But you know what? Parking's great no matter what.
When I drove by the one on I-75 South on the way back, it looked like they had more land that they were working on
Mhm.
than that original truck stop had or rest area had.
Yeah.
So it looks like they are
But not deep,
doing that.
wide.
wide.
Yeah,
along the frontage of the interstate,
Yes,
it was wider.
that's
yeah.
what I saw too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my original thought was $150 million for 1,400 spots. Doesn't sound like a lot.
It doesn't.
It sounds like a ton of money for very few parking spots. But when you actually do the numbers, it's like $1,100 a spot. That's pretty cheap.
I think so.
I don't know that you could get.
I think so.
I don't know you could get a parking spot poured on your property for $1,100
couldn't.
today.
You could.
Mm-mm.
Like that
No,
does
with-
break down
with
to
the-
very
the-
reasonable.
The groundwork and the grading and everything. No, I
Yeah.
don't think you could.
It's a bulk rate.
It is a bulk
It's a
rate.
bulk rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like we'll do it, but here's the catch.
Yeah.
We have to do all of them back to
yeah,
back.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
and that's another thing. I think that's why they're moving so quick is because building prices are going up so fast.
Mhm.
I think they're like, let's just get it all done.
Yep.
Like I was talking with Fight a Freightliner when they built their new building out in
West Jefferson.
West Jefferson. They got in a spot where they had to pull the trigger on their building, buying everything, and there were a couple mistakes that were made, and they were fine with it because the price of the building was going to go up like 20% if they waited an additional week.
Wow.
Like the company that was designed that was like providing the steel and the structure and
Mhm.
everything, they reached out to him and said, in like a week,
Yeah.
these new pricing whatever come through, and you're talking about 20% increase, and a 20% increase on
That's a
millions
lot
of
of
dollars is a lot of money. So even though they had like a couple $100,000 of we got to fix this or change this, it saved them in the
It
long
saved
run
a lot
tremendous amount of money.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that the ODOT is probably going through the same thing. But you know what's cool? Like, so I have a criticism and I have a compliment. I'll go compliment first. ODOT is really proven to be forward thinking. We talked, I think, last season about the new accessible
Yes. we did.
changing spaces that they're
Mhm.
putting in
Yes.
these.
Yeah.
And now we see that they're also looking at truck parking and how can we increase that and make that better. So they really are like focusing on how can we do this and not just do it for the sake of modernizing or maybe making it a cheaper place to run. They're looking at it as like, what can we do to actually help
Sure.
the general public? What can we do to help our citizens or residents? What can we do to help people traveling through a state? And I love that aspect. That like, no, we want you to have a respectable
Right.
time here, comfortable time here,
Right.
and it's really cool to see that. The other comment I had about it was, it's 1,400 more spots, but
Over
there's
33 rest areas.
over 33 rest areas. There's still a ton of trucks moving through here that are not going to have access to those spots. Those spots will still fill up.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, sure.
like spread across the entire states, 1,400 spots isn't a lot. I don't know how many 18-wheelers pass through Ohio in a given day, but I guarantee you it's more than 100,000
Sure.
easily.
I'm
Okay.
wondering
So-
if they've done some statistics, like if Ohio is a kind of like a hub between certain distances between
Yes.
other states, and so
So we know.
like,
Yes.
is it so many hours for a solo and they finally land in Ohio before they deliver to the East Coast? Like if they're coming from the West Coast, like is Ohio landing right in that perfect space for certain types of travel? Obviously, even with cars, because as you were just stating, they put in some handicap accessible with lifts and whatnot. So they're even thinking about passenger cars. But are we that perfectly destined stop space for a state?
So you've got a few states that have this phenomenon, right? Ohio's one of them. I mean, you look at it on a map where we're at in Columbus, we're almost dead on 600 miles or 620, something like that, to New York City.
Right.
So
That's a shift.
that's a shift.
Well,
It's
driving
It's a
shift.
driving shift.
Yeah.
And you see it like we have a lot of truck stops around Columbus, and then if you go up to Youngstown, and there's a bunch of truck stops, and if you go to Toledo, there's a bunch of truck stops. So it's almost like your people that are governed at 65, here's where they're going to go. Your people that are
Right.
governed at 70, here's where they're going to go. So you do have that. Specifically Columbus is very central to, it's something like 60% or 70% of the population of the U.S. But because the interstate highway system is the way it is, Louisville, Kentucky also gets to claim that. Cincinnati, Ohio gets to claim that. Indianapolis gets to claim that. Gary, Indiana, and Chicago, they also claim part of that, right? Detroit's a little too far north where they don't quite get to claim that.
Sure.
Right.
But so those are kind of your major. And if you think about where so much of the freight is, there's a reason why those are super common places for us to go to.
Yeah.
We go to Cincinnati all the time. We go to Columbus all the time. We go to Louisville all the time. We go to Indy all the time. Like, that's where they can get to the most amount of people. So especially if you're a company and you're like, okay, I want to build a warehouse to get the most amount of people covered with solo drivers that I can, because solos are way cheaper than teams.
Sure.
Where do I want to put myself? And that's why you see
Yeah,
these
makes
giant
sense.
distribution centers. Cardinal Health just built a gigantic distribution center over near one of our shops in Obetz. Like, Big Lots for the longest time had a huge distribution center here before they went under. It's just so yes, we're a major trucking hub.
Yeah.
And you think about 80s, 80, 70, and 80 and 70 are like two of the busiest interstates, period. And they both come through our state. And then Louisville has 65. 65? I-65?
Yeah.
That goes
Yes.
through it. And that's one of the busiest shipping channels as
Yeah.
well. So you also get, who's the other one out there? St. Louis also has the same kind of proportion. they lose the East Coast, but they gain like into Texas and
Sure.
that. So that's kind of
Yeah.
how they get to say the same statistic, but they do lose a part of the
That
population.
makes sense.
Yeah, I was out at the new Love's out in West Jefferson, just west of town here, and there are, just that you can see from that Love's, there are 3 gigantic Amazon warehouses out there.
Yeah.
Not just one Amazon, 3 huge Amazon warehouses, plus other warehouses.
Yeah,
as
FedEx
well.
has a
They
FedEx
have a
Ground
huge
has a
one, yeah.
gigantic
Big
presence
terminal,
out there. Yep.
Yep. So
And they're building like all of
All that's
that
gonna
is
grow.
becoming
Warehouses.
warehouses.
yeah,
So I did look for Columbus, Ohio, the I-70 to 71 corridor. They said about 17,000 trucks per day. That's all trucks,
Just in
not
that-
just
and
18
that's
wheelers.
just in that one spot.
Right. And then statewide, they're saying for the entire length of I-71, there's around 12,000, and for 75, 15,000. That's per day.
Yes. And then I-80.
So they don't have 80 on here.
Oh wow. Because we have 80 and 90 that come to here, right?
So
yeah. But 90 cuts across to 80, just east of Cincinnati,
80 and no, Cincinnati.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I get those two. I get those two mixed up.
I'm like, wow.
There's so many sea cities.
The
in
80,
right?
90 is dipping
Ohio.
way down low.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't remember it coming that far.
Yeah.
So does 80-90 on the so part of the tollway, the Ohio tollway, it is
80,
80-90.
90. Yeah.
Yes, they share the same road.
Yeah.
I think it changes when you hit Indiana.
No, I
Or
think
Illinois.
when you come down into it, going west, when it drops down below Lake Erie is where they merge together.
And then it's merged for quite a while.
It's merged for quite some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all of Indiana?
I don't know.
I
I don't know.
It looks like
No, I think Detroit picks up part of it.
Oh my goodness, it's been such a.
it's been
That
so
was my
long.
least
has been a long
favorite
time.
section of any highway to ever drive outside of the 12 in
I was going to call
Louisiana.
BS on that when you said that.
Outside of the
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
in Louisiana.
So it's Gary. Gary is where
Gary,
80-90
Indiana.
split again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indiana.
So
Yeah.
that's a long stretch of, and those rest areas are no joke. They're huge.
They are huge.
But
Well, they're toll plazas.
they're
up
toll
there,
plazas.
Too.
They're not.
That's
yeah.
a different story.
Okay. I-80, 90, it says 11,000 daily.
So we're at what? So not 100,000. We're at what? 40 something thousand with the 3 numbers you said so far, and that doesn't include
I-70.
I-70. It doesn't include 75. It doesn't include what's
Well, she did say it was 75. It's 15,000
okay.
per day.
Yeah.
What is over west of here? It is 77. Or east of here rather, 77
Yeah.
as well, and then all the highways, because and I saw they're actually talking about making it an interstate.
Yeah.
I-
Interstate 73.
Yeah, through 23.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major hub. And that
Yeah.
23 is where I saw that rest area, by the way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's fascinating. Like Columbus, I always joke like you ever leave St. Louis, and you leave in St. Louis, you cross the Mississippi River, now you're in Illinois. There are 18 interstates. It feels like
There are right there that come
right
together.
there that all
Yeah.
intersect. It is
Yeah.
insanity. Like
But
your
if you're
GPS.
not on your game,
Oh, your GPS is like,
Mhm.
take the left lane for 77 in
Exactly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Far right lane for. it's like, whoa, hold on,
Yeah,
what's going on here?
exactly.
There's like, if you're at home
Yeah.
or if you're just listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, pull up an interstate map or pull up a map, your Google Maps or your Apple Maps. Look at St. Louis and just look immediately across the river from St. Louis. There is a ton of interstates in a very, very little
Yeah.
area. That's what's going to end up happening too.
I always did that
Ohio.
at night. That was I like coming from the north. You kind of drop down, you do a hard like U-turn, and then you're back swooping down over here,
Yes.
and then you're on your way to. It felt like no man's land. It's like you leave the city really quick.
You do. Well, the river, it's like you cross the river, it's truck stop city, and then fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like
Yep.
there is, what is it, East St. Louis? Is very, there's not much there at all. There used to be a casino. Is that casino? I don't know if the
I don't
casino's
know.
still there. Yeah, there's not a lot. It's, but it's funny too, because when you're on the Mississippi River, like if you go to the arch and you actually go up to the top of the arch, like everything west is like a huge city. There's downtown, there's skyscrapers, there's just buildings as far as you can see. On the right side or the east side, there's soybean fields, and there's like it's quite the line. You know, we talk about like the dividing track of the railroad tracks or the interstate divides the city or something. That river completely changes everything.
Interesting.
But yeah, no. So that's cool to know. I'm glad they had that. The other thing I was wondering too. So here's my two complaints or comments or thoughts that are kind of on the negative side. One is, you know, they talk about 685 accidents by people who are drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
Drowsy drivers don't always pull over. So we're still going to have some of that.
Oh, sure.
Because there are people that are like, oh, I just need a little more 5 hour, a little more coffee, a little more satisfaction, whatever it is, just something, and I will be able to power through this. Or, you know, let me get the. I remember years ago when I was doing sound, I was leaving a gig, and I was not pulling the trailer, and I was just trying to get home. The people that were pulling the trailer actually stayed the night. I just wanted to get home. I had get home-itis, and I was dead tired, and it was a Christmas gig, so it was ice cold outside. I rolled the window down. I turned the heater on full blast. Ice cold air in my face. Driving down the road, I should have pulled over and stopped and slept.
Sure.
Like I was dying. That was before the age of 5 hours, so it was like Red Bull, and that was all I could stomach. There are people that do that driving, and that was like a 2-hour drive home. There are people that do that on their whole shift
In an 80,000 pound.
in an 80,000 pound or 46,000 pound truck like we run. Like, yeah, in being able to have people realize I'm tired and I need to pull over. This does solve the issue for people that I'm tired, I need to pull over, and there's no spots here.
Right.
But it's also the trusting the drivers to know I'm a professional driver. I'm tired. I need to pull over. The second thing, and this is my complaint against the state of Ohio, and I don't know how to fix this, is that when I'm driving a truck to Fort Wayne or something, I don't like stopping at rest areas because Ohio Motor Carrier Patrol sits at those rest areas, and they will pick people coming in and do random roadside inspections. So, and I think that's wrong. I think that should be no man's land. If you are at a rest area, they should not. If they want to be there to protect the peace or keep the peace, sure, but they should not be pulling people over and doing roadside inspections at a rest area. Because that makes me not want to stop.
Right.
So
And then you're cutting into your rest time.
Exactly. So I will go to a truck stop because Pilot or Flying J is not going to let those people on their property.
Sheets will.
Sheets will?
Well, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's. I didn't want to cut you off at your story, but we had a team that was at the Sheets just in West Jefferson, just west of us here, and
it's brand new too.
Yeah, they needed something, and they did not want to leave because they said that DOT was in the parking lot. I'm like, okay, this is horse pucky, but I'll take it out there.
Yeah.
I take it out there and I pull in, and there's 2 DOT officers sitting in truck parking spaces in the back of the lot. And what they were doing was, as you pulled into fuel, when you left the fuel line and went around the lot to leave, they were sitting there, and there was an exit onto the road. And you'd pull out onto the road, and there's another one sitting outside that would wave you over and send you back to the 2 that were in the back for an inspection.
Yeah.
Saw it with my own eyes. I thought they were giving me a line. Saw it with my own eyes. I think that's ridiculous.
I do too.
Again, I do
that
think
sounds
that's
to
cutting
me.
into your...
That sounds to me like we need some emails to Sheets. If you're out there listening to this story, you need to send some emails out to Sheets because Sheets is new to the truck stop world.
They are.
They're not like Loves and Pilot and Flying J. I've seen cops roll through, but I think it's mostly again keeping the peace.
Sure.
I've never seen the scenario you're talking about happen.
It happened to me twice in Ohio with the rest area. Pulled in to do a rest break or use the restroom or something, and I'm pulling to a parking spot, and I go to get out, and I look in my mirror as I'm opening the door, and there's an officer behind me pulling up with his lights.
Do they let people use the bathroom before they do your inspection?
Nope.
No. And there is some.
But what if you're already doing the dance?
Right?
What if you're off duty?
So the second time that it happened to me, I was actually almost out of hours. I was coming up on my 30-minute break. I had literally like probably 7 minutes on my clock, and I had to do a break. And whenever I stopped, I immediately went into off duty to start my rest break, and then I was going to go to the restroom. He pulled up behind me, and I told him, I said, I just started my 30-minute break. I said, you're welcome to do whatever you need to do, but I got to do my break first. And he actually sat there by 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then afterwards, he did my inspection.
Yeah.
He took his 30-minute break too.
And I guess
Absolutely.
But he
Well, so-
did.
At least
So-
you got your bathroom in on
So
that.
they're not weighted the same. So if you do pull into a rest area with 1 minute left on your clock and they do force you to do an inspection, so you have to log on duty inspection, it does not count against you. It's not a log violation.
Oh, that's
so
good.
a cop can do that. But still, and that's assuming you have a motor carrier that knows the rules.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
motor carriers are not always right with all this stuff. But that's yeah, so that's a huge problem I have with Ohio is
I get it.
you're putting in a lot more parking spaces, but you've got people who won't use them.
Yeah.
Because of that. So, that's one of my criticisms. Until they fix that, I don't know what to say. Because I get that they don't want to pull someone over the side of the road because the rest area is safer for the cop to do a walk around or whatever, but that should be hallowed ground. Unless you are committing a crime, they should not be allowed to do that to you at a rest area. That's my belief.
So what if you're on the interstate and they don't want to pull you over on the side of the road, but there's a rest area coming up, and they pull you into the rest area to do the inspection?
I mean, that's a really good question. I don't know.
I mean, there
For
are rest
safety
areas.
purposes.
There are rest areas in other states that are rest area /
Way station, that's
way
different.
station. I know, I get
That's
that.
different.
I just
I
want,
agree
I
with
want
that.
to clarify that
Yeah.
we're not talking about that.
But and some of those way stations, they even say like, we have driver rest areas. You will not be inspected. Like,
well, but I mean, there's somewhere it's there's signed parking available, but you pull through the way station first and go around to park.
sure, yeah,
There are others where it's a car and truck rest area, and the way station's at the end.
yeah, I've seen it too.
So, but I mean, we're not talking about that. We're talking about strictly a rest
Strictly
area
a rest area.
and not a rest area way station combination.
Correct.
If they light you up on the highway and pull you in there for safety, that's to me is like doing a roadside inspection,
Yes, I agree.
as
I've
opposed to camping out
I
waiting
would feel
for you.
safer
Yeah.
that way as well.
Sure.
Besides being on the side. Of the
I've
road.
seen that like Tennessee is probably the other offender I think about that does this a lot with rest areas. So like Ohio and Tennessee stick out in my brain
Right.
as the worst ones to pull you over in a rest area or to come get you in a rest area. But I hear what you're saying. That's a little gray there for me
Okay.
because I could see the pulling
Alright.
over and getting safe or whatever. But to actually like I pull into a rest area and then you light me up,
Yeah, that's
that's a different
bullshit.
situation.
Pardon me,
Ohio loves to do it.
little Bucky.
They do. So, until they get that fixed, I hope even if you're drowsy, you'll pull over.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, here's where it gets even more complicated. I'm drowsy. I'm tired. I need to pull over and take a nap. So I'm going to pull into a rest area to go take a nap because I am drowsy and it's obvious that I'm drowsy.
Mm-hmm.
A cop lights me up. He comes over and does a roadside inspection, decides I'm not fit to drive because I'm tired,
Right.
even though I knew I wasn't fit to drive, which is why I'm not driving. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I just think, I think that's hallowed ground. You shouldn't be able to do anything there.
I completely agree with you there.
So, I'd love to know y'all's feedback on this. If y'all are seeing too other states that are doing this, what are those other states? Share it. Let your other truck driver friends know. Like, what are the places not to go to? Where are you concerned with? If I go to this rest area, I might get pulled over. Or are there other truck stops you know about that
Right.
this happens? Where Love's or Pilot or Flying J or Jim Bob's local truck stop is allowing this to happen? Because I could see that too with a local someone. So I'm very
Excuse me.
curious. I'm very curious what y'all's thoughts on this are.
I want to be sure that you're not avoiding rest area because you think there might be a violation on your vehicle or yourself, that you're only avoiding it for what reason?
Come again?
Why are you avoiding a rest area when it has a DOT officer in it?
Because I don't want to get inspected.
Why? Are you doing something nefarious?
Yes. No, I don't think it's nefarious.
I think the viewers are
So
hearing
we're all truck drivers here, right? Like every one of us has driven a truck. How many of y'all, with a show of hands, or an eye, because if you're listening to the podcast, you don't usually show of hands. With an eye or a show of hands, how many of y'all enjoy getting stopped by a cop and doing a roadside inspection?
I
You.
never minded it after the first one that I was unprepared for.
Okay, so
Like,
so
I think it's part of the job.
okay, so
Well, sure, it's part of the job.
so let me
but
give you an idea here. So I've got you're driving a truck to Bolt. You've got to be at Bolt Trucks, which is Fort Wayne, Indiana. You got to be there for noon. That's what time your appointment is. So you left Columbus at 8:30. It takes 3 hours to get there. So you gave yourself a little bit of a buffer, but there was a little traffic leaving town. 33 got you caught up a little bit right there at the Dublin interchange. You weren't expecting that. And you know that you really need to get diesel before you get there. You might be able to get there first and then go to the Pilot or the Flying J that's next to it, but then you're paying the expensive diesel and you're going to pass by a Love's, so you'd like to go there. So you're going and you're like, all right, I'm going to pop in this Love's real quick, get my diesel, and then I'm going to go. And on your way out there, when you get up to 33, that water you got at Love's, now you got to use the restroom real quick. And you're like, oh, it's going to be so close. There's a rest area. So I'm going to pop in that rest area real quick, and I'm going to use the restroom. You see a cop there, and you know they're doing DOT roadsides. You know, I go there. If I get a roadside, I'm missing my appointment, which potentially means I am now an overnight stay in Fort Wayne. Now I might, if I miss that appointment, I might actually have to stay over the night in Fort Wayne versus being able to get home tonight. Are you stopping? Or are you thinking to yourself, there's a Pilot a couple exits down?
I get what you're saying.
And the other side of that coin as well, even if you are doing everything that you're supposed to do, there's always that possibility of that officer finding something, and you just don't need that headache. You don't need that on your record or anything else, because even though you know that the truck in your mind at that moment, everything is safe, there's always that possibility that they find something when they do that roadside. So you
Sure.
don't want to take that chance.
Absolutely. And look, random roadside inspections, side of the road, light me up, pull me over. I've done it 1,000 times. I've done it 1,000 times. I've done it 30, 40 times. I did it once. The funniest one I ever got done was pulling through a turnpike on my way down to Texas. I picked up a brand new truck from Fighter Freightliner. Had a double A sleeper on it, brand new truck. And I went through it and found a couple things that need to be fixed on the sleeper. And we were going to put a team in it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this straight to Texas. I've already got to go down to Louisiana because that's back when we lived in Louisiana. So I'm like, I'll take it to Texas, get these couple things knocked out, and then I'll go home. And so it's only going to add, if I do that, it's only going to add 500 miles. So let me just do that instead of making dedicated trips. So I head down there. I get to the Oklahoma Turnpike there outside of Tulsa.
On 44?
On 44.
Yeah.
This is before the days of pre-pass.
Okay.
Best pass. So I still had to pay the toll. So back in the day, with people that drove for us, if you've been there for a while, you know what I'm talking about. You would actually like pay the toll, and then you would send us a receipt, and then we would reimburse you for it. And so, that was a long time ago. Anyways, so I get to the toll plaza. I see there's a cop car, but that's normal. It's not crazy, right? I pay the toll, and then as soon as I pay the toll and she gives me the receipt, the cop steps out and says, hey, I need you to pull over there. And I'm like, all right, we're getting roadside. So I pull over, and he comes over here and talks to me, and he's like, man, your truck's really nice, yada, yada. And I'm like, as I said, it's funny, it's brand new. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I picked it up 2 days ago, or a day ago. It's brand new. He's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I was like, nope. He's like, all right, well, this should be quick then. And so we go through. I mean, there's the first time I've ever seen it. He actually had like the mechanics, what do you call that board? Where you creeper? He had a creeper on him, and he actually got on the creeper and climbed, went into the truck. And I'm like, oh, we're doing it for real.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been through a level 1 inspection, which is the most in-depth inspection, you know there are varying levels of level 1 based on the officer you're with.
Right.
Well, I went to maximum overdrive. Like, he was like, we're going to do it. And he was fast and everything. It was cool. He was a super nice guy. He complimented me on the truck, all this stuff. And I was out of there with no problem. Clean inspection. Brand new truck. Got a sticker on the windshield. Like, so it was cool. Like, I get it. We've all been there. I've been pulled over on the side of the road. I've gone to way stations and been told, bring your permits inside. I've been told to go over to that shed.
Sure.
Boy, the ones with the sheds are nice too.
Yeah, the heads are real nice.
And so
Especially in the cold winter.
yes.
So you're just saying
So
that
I'm not
rest areas are off limits.
I'm not
'cause
opposed.
we need to
Correct.
rest.
If I am, yeah, exactly. So if I'm pulling over because I need to use the restroom, or I want to rest, or I am just not feeling wanting to deal with someone, that I shouldn't be hassled at a rest
I get
area.
what you're saying.
So that's my point. I'm not trying to say if you have something illegal in your truck or something that's not going to pass,
Get it fixed.
get it fixed.
Yeah. Get it fixed.
There's, I'm telling you this. You got a tire that's like, I don't know, it's a little below tread. It's way cheaper
Yeah.
to pop into a Love's and have them replace a tire than it is to have Love's bring you a tire and put it on your truck out on the road. Not only that, it's faster, it's safer.
Mhm.
That tire is not safe that's on your truck. You know, a steer tire blowout could kill you and other people on the road.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. So you need to be getting those things fixed. A light that's out, you know, most of our trucks now have LEDs, so we don't run into as many light issues as we used to, but we still have some.
We do.
Sure.
And
We're dealing with them now.
yeah, we are right now, actually. So if you have a light that's out, get it fixed. You're driving down the road and you're like, huh, when I did my pre-trip this morning, all my lights worked, but now
Yeah.
it looks like only the right
Mhm.
side is lighting up. And sometimes you go and you look and you're like, nope, it's just an optical illusion.
Yep.
But if it's not, get it fixed. Like, absolutely
yeah,
do
I
not
get it.
drive a truck unsafe. That is crazy to me that people do that. But there is certainly a hassle factor that I may not when I'm driving and I'm going into a rest area, because a rest area is not a truck stop. I'm not
Sure.
going to a rest area because I need fuel. I'm going to a rest area because I need a rest, be it a restroom break, be it a nap, be it a 30-minute break that I'm required by law to take,
I get it.
or if I just even need to go down and sleep for the night. Now, I don't know that I've ever seen a cop at night doing roadside inspections at a rest area.
Like in the middle of the night,
Yes,
the witching hours.
correct. But because we run teams, my night may be the middle of the day.
Sure.
So I may be like, I need a nap because we drove through Indiana yesterday with the most horrible roads ever, and I didn't get good sleep. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to pull over and I am going to take myself a nap. And get there and there's a cop. Let's do a roadside. Like, that's where I have issue. Like,
Sure.
now you're really screwing with someone's morale, and they didn't need to use the restroom, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I take issue with that. So that's my point on that.
Thank you for clarifying that.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, because
Yeah.
in my head I'm not thinking anything nefarious, because that's not how we
Sure.
operate.
Right.
But I do understand how people could see that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
great point to bring up.
Thank you.
So Heather, you are going camping this weekend. I remember we talked about that last week. Are you prepared?
Half
Half.
prepared.
So you've got the tent, but no sleeping bag.
I have the sleeping bag, no tent. The other person I'm going
Oh.
with has a tent.
Okay. Do you have their sleeping bag too?
No, they have their
So
own
they're
sleeping
fully
bag.
prepared. You're halfway
Well,
prepared.
I'm saying I'm half prepared because there's some fresher food items.
Oh yeah,
that I
you're doing
want
the
to
s'more
get.
thing. Did you decide to do the s'mores?
The banana.
The
I
The
mentioned
banana,
the
the banana.
banana.
Yeah.
Oh, she was
Yes.
talking about those around the dinner table the other night. Oh, I'll let her talk about it, but woo.
Yeah, there's some different kinds of bananas you can do too, besides just marshmallows and chocolate chips. There's like a Samoa's one.
Oh, stop it. Well, but you got to buy a coconut, and then you're out there and you're like, you realize we didn't bring a saw.
Yeah.
Like, did you bring the reciprocating saw with you? The
At
sawzall?
least a mallet and a screwdriver, something.
Like,
Or peanut butter as well. Peanut butter and chocolate chips and marshmallows.
I like peanut butter and jelly.
Mm-hmm.
I like peanut butter straight out of the jar on a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I like peanut butter on a Ritz.
Yes. Oh.
And that's really where it ends for me. Like the peanut butter on the ice cream, the peanut butter. Oh,
haven't
no, I'm
had
sorry. I do like it in a peanut butter cup. I ain't going to lie.
I haven't
I
had
could-
a peanut butter on a Ritz in so long.
Well,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, we will. It sounds like we're going to in
I
about
think
15
so.
minutes. we have creamy, and then we have extra crunchy.
Can we get Don to get those set up in the green room next time?
Right.
Next week?
I'm an extra crunchy.
Can we just get Dawn?
Yeah, let's get Don.
But yeah, so I'm gonna make up some of the food beforehand to
Nice.
go, and yep, just gotta get.
You gonna have the foil packets pre-made? That way you just throw them on there, or
I might. We'll see. How
I bet
much
you could
time
do
have.
that and put them into a Ziploc. And they'd probably hold just fine.
They probably would.
Mm-hmm.
So, things like ice, water, wood, that kind of stuff probably get right before I go.
You get ice a few days ahead of time.
Could, sure.
And then
Yeah.
you'll have water.
And then
And then you
I'll
have water. There it is.
See?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was I thinking?
Right? Yeah. And then they don't allow you to harvest wood at campsites, right?
They prefer you do not, correct. So,
That's changed since I was a kid.
Yep.
So
Me
when I
too.
was a kid, they encouraged you. It was part of how they kept the forest clean. They didn't want you to bring your wood because it may have bugs or something.
Well,
and they didn't.
there's a lot of places that don't want you to bring wood from out of state, at least,
Yes.
if not locally.
Yeah.
Because of bugs and diseases.
When some of
and
those private ones, those private campgrounds,
Yeah.
I'm like, you just want me buying your
Exactly,
$9
bundle
with
of two
four,
sticks of
four
wood.
sticks of wood.
yeah. So we're going to try and bring some because, like you said, a lot of things are going to be more expensive if you get it from
Sure.
them.
And
So,
not all the time. I've been to some campgrounds that
not
are great,
always.
but there are some that are definitely
Yeah. And it is a state park, so
oh,
They've
well,
got a marina or a store, general store.
I think they have
Yeah.
a little store right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you bringing the kayaks? Just be
No.
careful if you decide to.
Yeah. Don't tip over.
Don't tip over. That'd be so embarrassing. Can you imagine?
Oh,
How
I can
embarrassing that
only
would be.
imagine.
Could I borrow yours
I
and
can
put them on
only
the top of
imagine.
my car?
You
Take
can.
'em?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you borrow a couple.
Season 3, if you're interested in hearing.
He'll probably put a link to it right here.
I'm just so mad I didn't have the wherewithal to take a photo or even a video.
Well, it happened so quickly.
It did happen so quickly.
So we joke when we get ice cubes out of the freezer that one always manages to hit the floor. It's like as you're filling your cup,
Yes.
one goes squirrely and whoosh, and then it shatters into a zillion pieces. So we call it, giving a gift to the ice god or whatever.
Okay,
you
a
get
sacrifice. Yes.
Sacrifice.
So Vince, in the world of fishing, there is a certain amount of tackle that
Mhm.
you're allowed to lose while fishing as a sacrifice to the fishing gods.
No one told Vince this.
No, Vince.
Oh, I
knows
was
okay,
this,
aware.
he
I
yes.
was
knows.
well aware.
So again,
yeah.
trees,
I've lost lures and
snag
stuff.
it,
Yeah, sure.
you're wrapped up in
Right.
Sure, sure.
lilies, or you grab a stump in the water that you can't see. There's a certain amount of fishing tackle that you're allowed to give to the fishing gods. Well, on this specific episode 3 or season 3 adventure where we went camping, Vince gave a lot to the fishing gods that day.
I did.
Um,
Rod
Like in
and
the
reel,
rod and reel.
prescription sunglasses.
Oh my! You should be set for life now.
But the main tackle boxes, those were spared.
I did grab the backpack.
You did.
Yep.
I did grab the backpack.
Oh my gosh, this wet backpack. He tried to hand it to me. He's like, "Can you put this in your canoe?" And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna
No.
flip over because this thing now weighs 19 tons."
Yeah, because all the
All the water?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
it was fun.
it was a good day.
It was a great
you were
day.
you were a good sport. We
the
still
funny-
hung out. We still went.
The funny thing in my mind, that whole thing, after I went over and I'm treading water, and there was a guy who had just put in right next to us, and he goes, "You're wearing a vest. You can float." Oh, you're right. I can float.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. Yeah, I still went and paddled around with you. I couldn't
Yeah.
fish anymore because I didn't have any gear, but I paddled around and hung out. And,
And it was a good, decent win, so you dried off pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
did.
that. Yeah.
It was a nice day.
it was a fun day,
Yeah.
except for losing $100 in
No,
fishing
Hey,
gear.
again, you
You
have
know.
to give a certain amount to
You
the
do.
fishing
And
gods.
you also have to wear a life jacket. Like,
It's
I'm-
a good idea.
Listen,
I'm a strong swimmer, so
Of
holding
course you
onto
are.
the boat, I'd have been okay. But when he reminded me that I'm wearing
Yeah.
a vest, it's like, oh, okay, now I can do what I need to do without having to try and hold
It
on
does.
with one arm. you
and the
know?
boat floats.
Yeah,
it does take a
exactly.
second to remember though that you are wearing a life jacket.
Mhm.
So we used to sail at my aunt and uncle, and they had a 45-foot boat, and like no, you don't wear a life vest out there. Like it's a boat that big, you're not wearing a life vest. You know where they're at in case you need to.
Sure.
Because boats like that
Sure.
aren't typically flipping over
Yeah,
quickly.
exactly.
There's usually like, oh, something bad's happening. Everybody put your life vest on.
Right.
You have time. A kayak goes over like
Yeah,
lickety
like that.
split.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and he's gone. So Eric and I were doing a kayaking out in I don't know where we were, some island, and so we were kayaking in some off some island or something, and the current was pretty bad. We were on a tour, so we're like following. There's like 15, 20 of us. And there's this one little spot where the water, like it's going up and down, probably like 6 or 7 feet up and down. Like it's that strong of a current. And so we're like, okay, we can do this. We can get to there. Everybody else did. And nope, we timed it wrong. And we went through it, and the tide started rising on one side and going down on the other, and we just flipped right over and got in the water. And it did, like, so you pop out of the water pretty fast with a life jacket on, but it does take a second to, like, you're like
Not panic.
paddling, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not necessary. So then it's like, I remember yelling, "Are you okay?" And Eric was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like, and then it's like, okay, well, let's get over here. We flipped our kayak over, and we were like, all right, we got to think about how we're going to get back on this thing. And about the time that I'm like, we need to figure out how we're going to get back on this thing, I hear the gas engine of the Kodiak, like the boat that's following us, like going to full speed. And I'm like, oh, they see us. You know, and sure enough, they come over there, they grab us, they pull us out of the water, and then they put us right back on the kayak, and they're like, all right, off you go. And then we had to do the same thing all over again, but this time we were successful, and it was really cool because I did lose our little bag that had the GoPro in it, had a few other things in there, maybe my phone even, and it actually, the current was strong enough, it blew it against a rock, and it was stuck on the rock, and so our guide was able to go over there and grab it.
Wow.
So we didn't lose everything.
Nice.
We lost like a hat and some other stuff, but not the important things.
The part of the story that you're neglecting to tell everyone that I think is just amazing is that when the Kodiak came over, the way they got you out of the water and back on your kayak was with the little crane they had that they hooked to a loop on your life
That's
vest
exactly what I was
and raised you
picturing.
out of the water and held the kayak and just put you back down on the kayak, and you were good to go.
That would have been nice. No, it was an Ecuadorian man who like reached in and was like heave and
And you
yanked us back.
slinkered on
We
over.
were like I'm not a small person,
Yeah.
but clearly this was not their first
Not their
rodeo.
first rodeo.
And then they grab, so one person in the front of the boat grabs the front of the kayak, the other person grabs back of the kayak, and they're like, get on. It happened fast. Like, they're like, we're going to keep the
Yeah.
tour going. Get back
Yeah.
on that boat quickly. Like, it was like, go, go, go. And the paddles float, which was cool. So we were able to get those. But yeah, it was quite the experience.
Yeah.
And
Good
then,
thing
of
for
course,
life jacket.
so we did that on a cruise. So when you get back on the cruise, everyone's like, you're the guys that fell into the water. At least you didn't have that.
I didn't have that. No,
You know, we've
I
only
didn't have
we've only
that.
told everybody listening to the podcast. but-
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Well,
I'm
we
waiting
hope
for
that'll be
somebody to
great.
come through the yard and go,
Uh-huh.
"You're the guy who fell in the water."
Oh,
It'll happen
please.
every
oh,
single
please,
time
please,
now.
Please, please,
Every
please.
single time.
Next time you see
I'm gonna
Vince.
try and record it when it happens.
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna have so much fun camping. I know I keep telling
They
you
just
that, but
you
are.
just start bringing you
I'm excited.
rods and reels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
But they're all the little
Sure.
short ones,
I'll
so
take
like
'em.
the Fisher Price.
They've
They have
all-
Snoopy
The
on
Barbie.
them.
They've all got a use.
The Woodstock.
Blue's
They've all got a
Clues.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm jealous of you. I'd love to go camping. I haven't been in quite some time. But
Well, just because it's Labor Day weekend doesn't mean
There's
it's over.
There's no. No, you can
there's
go the
no,
next
Labor Day
weekend.
weekend.
I'm like,
There's
Labor
no rope.
Day weekend, you're not going
it's
to find
over.
any camp. But the next weekend, you might be able to.
But
And
I
you know,
won't be
we've
able
got
to.
Alum Creek right here. I don't know why we don't go more often.
Yeah. We should.
More
I just
often,
meant
ever.
that it's
You mean
like-
ever?
Yeah,
Not
ever.
the end of the season, just because it's Labor Day. It's not the end of the season. There's
No,
still a
you're
lot
right.
of nice fall.
Yeah,
Like
but you
how
can't wear
fall's
white.
fun.
You can't wear white though. After
15
I
this
don't
minutes.
wear
weekend.
white anyway.
So I mean, that's a whole. For me, it's sit on the Chris Craft boat in my all white, with my hat on.
I
and-
really want to see that.
well, I
I do
wore
too.
all white just recently in December. I wore all white.
That's almost a year ago.
Okay, just
No,
recently.
It's
Yes.
it's 8 months ago.
Well, that was when we were in the tundra and you were trying to blend in.
Yes, it was. That's my camouflage.
It was your camouflage. Well, real quick before we go, a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, in the expediting community, Eric and I lost a good friend of ours and a really great fleet owner. Sylvia owned En route expediting or trekking with her husband Mike. It happened really fast. We were actually going to be hanging out with Sylvia, and a few days later, found out that she had passed away. Really, kind of a kick in the neck. 57 years old, gone way too soon.
Wow.
Mhm.
And we just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. I really want to wish Mike, as much comfort and whatever you can say when this happens. I've never lost a spouse, but I have lost a parent, and I do know what that felt like and how much pain that was. Her funeral was this past week, and unfortunately I was not able to make it, but my memories of her are still very strong. Yeah, really miss her. Really miss, she was a whippersnapper, a firecracker, man. We'd go to these FedEx Fleet Owner meetings, and she would light them up. I mean, light them up. She had no shame when it came to calling FedEx out when they were not doing something right. Being a friend of ours, friend of the show, I just wanted to acknowledge her. I know she's up there now watching us live this rat race that we're in. Yeah, that's all.
Sympathies to the families.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, Mike, we're praying for you.
Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, and the subscribe button if you like everything that we are talking about. If you would like to learn more about Hyfield Trucking, you can check us out at hyfieldtrucking.com. That's HYFIELD, trucking.com. You can also give us a call if you're interested in talking to one of our recruiters or learning more about Hyfield. That's 833-493-4353, option 1. That's 833-HYFIELD. Send us an email if you have any questions, comments about the show, suggestions, topics that you would like to hear about, and that is at theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com.
All right, then. Well, in the meantime, everybody, stay safe, make good decisions.
Don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Keep wearing them flip flops.
Bye.
Bye.